OpenAI just announced a new feature for ChatGPT that they are calling memory. Today, we're going to cover exactly what it is, exactly how it works, and what this means for you as a user. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kamo, and I teach AI classes to level up and future-proof professionals with AI. So let's jump into this right away. So let's talk about what this thing is. First, here's the link to the blog post, which will be down below in the comments. But basically, this is a new feature that comes with two very distinct flavors called saved memories and chat history. And it's important to understand how this works. This saved memory feature are details that you've specifically or explicitly told ChatGPT to hang on to, or, and this is the most important part, that it has decided to hang on to for you with very little choice about when it adds that. That's all behind the scenes. And then there's also a chat history feature, which is basically like taking every piece of chat that you've ever done with ChatGPT, any flavor, any model, and using that as an augmented context for all of your future searches, meaning you can always go back and find stuff that you've asked it questions about or had discussions about it with from the past, and use that to give you more targeted, specific answers in the future. Important to remember that these are separate features, as we're going to see here in just a second, and that they are distinct in how they capture and how they use specific elements of your chat history or facts about you. Now, important to understand about the saved memories. If we jump over to an actual ChatGPT interface, the first thing you're going to do if you have a pro account or log in anytime in the next couple of days is you're going to get a pop-up that's going to say, hey, do you want me to analyze you? If you say yes, this is literally, I've done nothing but click one button to show you this. It gives you a description of exactly who I am based on what it knows about me. And let me tell you, this is shockingly accurate. And I was kind of like, oh, wow, it feels pretty good about me. So how do we access each of these features in their history? Well, very clear. You click on your settings in the upper corner here, click on it and go into personalization. And right here, you've got two distinct types of memories: saved memories, default on, and reference chat history, default on. Can't stress this, everybody. You are automatically opting into this no matter what you want to do. You have to manually go in and turn this off, okay? But if you want to manage your memories, there's a cool button right here you just click on. So here's all the memories that it has of different things that I have worked on in the past. But if I go all the way to the bottom, for example, it's got some stuff from very early on in my chat GPT days that doesn't actually apply anymore. So you can just click one of these and click forget, and now it'll pull that out and won't use that anymore for its own memory of me. Now, for chat history, this is where things get different. Even if you delete a memory, the chat history that was generated that memory is still there and will still show up in your chat history. So you'll have to go back through your history, use the search function in order to find anything that you don't want it to know about or remember about or have in its chat history and pull that out specifically. So this means for an average user, if you've come in and asked it questions about work and your personal life and, I don't know, relationships or whatever, you might not want all those things mixed together in your chat history going forward. So I would say for the average person, this saved memories feature is kind of cool. I can see a lot of use for this, but maybe chat history isn't, unless you've primarily focused your ChatGPT and OpenAI use cases on one band of your life. Then this is probably really cool. So what does this actually mean for standard users? I can see this being incredibly useful for anybody that is going to be wanting to have a much more cohesive interface and a cohesive interaction with ChatGPT. If this remembers stuff about you and you can go in and selectively add or subtract that memory, that's pretty cool because it's like you training AI on the things that you like, and it's going to make for much better responses, especially if you're really good at prompt engineering and you've got a specific flow that you use that gets you good results. I think this is going to be really good for deep research, and I think it's going to be really good for the more slow thinking processes where you're going to want it to know about you and the specific idiosyncrasies that make you you. So again, that's on the very positive side. Now let's switch gears over to heavy pessimism. I get real freaked out about how much data all these LLM tools have about me or about anybody that's out there. The question I want you to ask yourself is, how much do you trust OpenAI with your data? I can imagine a future where all of the idiosyncrasies of you are absolutely used to target marketing efforts, ads, campaigns, anything to you specifically. And there's a heavy manipulation factor that could exist. I want to be very clear. I am taking a very pessimistic approach, as I just took a very optimistic approach in saying that all this information being tracked by OpenAI with very little control about what it chooses to track on you and why. And yes, it's got a cool little interface that we just jumped into where you can actually go see exactly where it's capturing you and what it's in its memories. That's just your interface. So again, I'm gonna switch back over to optimism for a second. I think this new feature is very, very cool. I think that it's awesome how they launched it. I don't think it's awesome that it defaults on for everybody, but hey, you can't win them all. And listen, this stuff is super fast. It's changing all the time. So just remember, take this with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Let me know in the comments if I missed something or if you've got another insight you want to share. And listen, if you want to level up your knowledge of all these things, if you want to get better, I teach AI training courses. Links are in the description below. And look, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Check out these videos over here if you want to see a little bit more about what I do. Have a great day.